These are the SUVs to avoid buying in 2026. Not because they look bad, they look incredible. That's the trap. Behind the showroom shine, these 5 have the recalls, the reliability scores, and the repair bills that owners find out about too late. One of them, the government is literally telling people to park outside, away from their house. Let's start with the one everybody wants. This is an opinion. Consumer Reports surveyed over 380,000 vehicles for 2026, and 5 brands sank to the bottom: Chrysler, Mercedes, Rivian, Volkswagen, and Jeep. 2 things put an SUV on this list: a reliability score that cratered and a recall record that won't quit. And the first one is the SUV every early adopter swore was the future. Everybody wanted the Rivian R1S, the electric adventure SUV that was going to embarrass the legacy brands. The reviews loved it. The reliability data didn't. Consumer Reports flat out calls the R1S less reliable than other cars from the same model year. It's been recalled 9 times. This is what happens when a startup builds its first vehicles at scale. Owners report sensors going offline, memory seats that forget, software that freezes, glitches on trucks barely off the lot. You're not the customer, you're the beta test. The story repeats. Someone falls in love with the R1S and falls out of love by the 3rd service visit in year 1. At least the Rivian stays shut. The next one's doors can open while you're driving. The Volkswagen ID.4 was supposed to be the sensible electric SUV. Then Volkswagen finished dead last in J.D. Power's 2026 dependability study. 301 problems per 100 vehicles, against a 204 average. But the number that should stop you is the doors. Water gets into the door handle electronics, and federal regulators opened an inquiry into 51,000 ID.4s over doors opening while driving. That's a software-first car that shipped before it was baked. Frozen screens, dead controls, and a door that won't trust you. Owners describe being locked out in the cold, or worse, a door unlatching when it never should. One bad recall is rough. The next one's been recalled again and again, and it's the SUV families trust with their kids. You buy a minivan for one reason: your family. Which makes the Chrysler Pacifica's record genuinely hard to defend. Chrysler is Consumer Reports' single least reliable brand for 2026, a score of 18. And the 2025 Pacifica has racked up 7+ recalls, including an airbag defect hitting 250,000 vehicles and a transmission fault that drops it into limp mode and can shut it down. Airbags, transmission, fire risk. This van has been recalled for almost everything you can name. The vehicle you buy because it's supposed to be dependable can't stop getting called back. Picture it dropping into limp mode on the highway. Kids in the back, traffic closing in. That one's just unreliable. The next one will cost you a fortune just to find out what's wrong. With the Mercedes GLE, the danger isn't a crash, it's the repair bill. Mercedes landed as Consumer Reports' second worst brand for 2026, and CR calls the GLE much less reliable than other cars from the same model year. The headline failure? The air suspension. Owners report the SUV sagging, sitting uneven, air struts leaking. And out of warranty, that repair runs $1,200 to $5,000. That's the luxury tax nobody mentions. The badge gets you the looks, and the layered electronics, the sensors, the air springs get you a 4-figure repair bill every time something blinks. Premium to buy, brutal to own. The buyer who could afford the payment, but got blindsided by the maintenance. Expensive is bad. The last one is the only SUV here the federal government says could catch fire in your garage. The government's instructions for this one: park it outside, away from your house, away from anything you don't want to lose. The Jeep Wrangler 4xe. 320,000 of them, recalled because they can catch fire, parked or driving. And that's not the only one. A separate recall covers another 112,000 for sand left in the engine blocks. That can also start a fire. Same SUV, 2 different ways to burn. This isn't unreliable. This is a documented fire hazard. Serious enough that the safest place for a $60,000 Jeep is away from your home. That's the worst thing a vehicle can be. Imagine making the payment every month on an SUV you're afraid to park in your own garage. Beautiful in the showroom, a fire risk in the driveway. That's the trap, in one car. So here's the one move that keeps you off this list. Before you buy any SUV, you pull its recall record. It's free. Go to nhtsa.gov, type in the model, and read every open recall before you sign anything. The dealer won't volunteer it. The window sticker won't show it. But that one search tells you if you're buying a car or a court date with your mechanic. And once you've got a good one, keeping it that way is the whole game. So I built a free field manual. 10 maintenance moves that keep a car running past 200,000 miles and save you over $1,000 a year doing them yourself. Free. Links in the description. Grab it. A beautiful SUV with an ugly recall record is still an ugly deal. Now you know how to check. And if you're shopping used to dodge these problems, careful. Cheap used EVs come with their own trap. I broke down exactly why the cheap ones are cheap. It's on screen now. Watch that one next.